everyone, this is Jenny's Fashion Channel. Thanks to all my amazing fans and subscribers. This channel is all about leveling up on your fashion designing skill. And today, I'm going to teach you how to cut an all-shoulder bustier. So if it is what we are all about, you are definitely at the right place. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, now will be a very good time for you to smash on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Without further ado, let's jump right in, shall we? The first thing is to draw a line as my baseline. Taking 6 inches off, okay? You can take 5 inches off. You can take 7 inches off. It depends on how deep you want your neckline. Then I'm going to take my vertical measurement. I will come down by 10 inches for my bust line. And I'm going to come down by 13.5 inches for my under bust line. I will come down by 16.5 inches for the waistline. And I will add half an inch for joining allowance. I will mark and I'm going to draw the lines. Then I'm going to take my nipple to nipple measurement, divide by 2. And I'm going to add half an inch for joining allowance. I will mark it on the bust line. And I'm going to connect it straight down to the joining allowance line like so. The next thing is to get the under bust dart. And for me to get the under bust dart, I'm going to take the difference between the under bust line and the bust line, and I have 3.5 inches there. So I'm going to divide it by 2. It will give me 1.75 inches. I will divide 1.75 inches by 2 again. It will give me 0.88 inch. Then I'm going to take 0.88 inch to the left and 1.75 inches to the right. Then I'm going to come down by 1 inch from the bust point. This is to remove any form of pointiness on the bust area. I will mark it and I'm going to connect it to the under bust dart. Then I'm going to connect the under bust dart straight down to the joining allowance line like so. Then the next thing is to get the over bust dart for the over bust starting. So I'm going to add 1 inch to what I have on this bust point. I have 4 inches there. That's nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 plus half an inch. I have 4 inches there. So I'm going to add 1 inch to it. It will give me 5 inches. I will mark it on the baseline, which is also the neckline, okay? I will connect it to the bust point like so. Then from those points, I'm going to go in by 1 inch and go out by 1 inch. I will mark it. And from this bust point, I'm going to go up by half an inch. I will mark it and I'm going to connect it to the over bust dart like so. Then I'll go ahead and measure these two curves to ensure that they are equal. So after measuring, I found out that the one at the right side is bigger than the one at the left side with half an inch. So I'm going to extend this very one at the left side with half an inch so that the two curves will be equal. Then from those points, I'm going to go down by 1 inch, okay? Just to give it just small sweetheart curve effect. You can go down by 2 inches. You can go down by 4 inches. It depends on the amount of cleavage that you want to expose there. I will mark and I'm going to connect to the over bust dart like so. Then the next thing is to get the width of the neckline. And I'm using 5 inches for the width of the neckline. You can use 4.5 inches. You can use 6 inches. It purely depends on how wide you want it, okay? Then I'm going to replace these 2 inches that intake here. And I will add 1 inch, okay? Because I need half inch to join the two cups, okay? By the time I will join the cup at the left side and the one at the right side, you will notice that 1 inch has gone off. So altogether, I have 8 inches. I will mark it. Then the next thing is to get my armhole depth. And for me to get my armhole depth, I'm going to take my bust measurement divide by 6 plus 1.5 inches. And the bust measurement I am working with is 40. If it is being divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, it will give me 8.1 inches, okay? But remember, this is an off-shoulder dress, and already we have taken 6 inches off. So I'm going to take that 6 inches off, okay? Then I will come down from the baseline, which is the chest line, by 2.1 inches, okay? I will mark and I'm going to connect like so. Then I will draw a horizontal line from those points as my chest line. Then the next thing is to get my armhole curve. And for me to get my armhole curve, I'm going to take my bust measurement divide by 4. And I'm going to replace this dart intake here. I will mark it and I'm going to connect like so to get a perfect armhole curve for an off-shoulder dress. Then I will go ahead and take my horizontal measurement. On the chest line, I will add 2 inches for joining allowance. On the bust line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divide by 4 plus 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it. On the under bust line, I'm going to take my under bust measurement divide by 4. I'm going to replace this dart intake here plus 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it. On the waistline, I'm going to take my waist measurement divide by 4. I'm going to replace this dart intake here plus 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it and I'm going to mark the same thing on the joining allowance line. Then I will connect my markings to serve as a guide for cutting. So guys, that's it. I will now go ahead and cut. So follow me closely. Let's cut. So guys, that's aside. You can see that those align perfectly. Okay, we now move on to the back panel. The first thing is to draw a line as my baseline, which will also serve as my neckline, taking 6 inches off, just the same way we did on the front part of the dress. Then I'm going to take out 1.5 inches for my zipper. You can use 1 inch, okay? Then I will mark and I'm going to draw the line. Then I'm going to take my vertical measurement. I will come down by 10 inches for my bust line. And I will come down by 16.5 inches for the waistline. And I'm going to add half an inch for joining allowance. I will mark and I'm going to draw the lines. Then the next thing is to get my bust span. So I'm going to take my nipple to nipple measurement divide by 2. I'm going to mark it on the bust line and I'm going to connect it straight down to the joining allowance line like so. Then the next thing is to get my dart, and for me to get my dart, I'm going to go in from those points by half an inch and go out by half an inch. Then I'm going to extend this my bust point with 1 inch. I will mark it and I'm going to connect like so. Then I'm going to connect it to the underbows dart like so. Then the next thing is to get the weight of the neckline, and I'm using 5 inches. I will mark it. Then I'm going to get my armhole depth, okay, as we calculated on the front part of the dress. So from those points, I will come down by 2.1 inches. I will mark it and I'm going to connect like so. Then I'm going to draw a horizontal line from those points as my chest line. Then the next thing is to get my armhole curve, and for me to get my armhole curve, I'm going to take my bust measurement divide by 4. I will mark it on the chest line and I'm going to connect like so to get a perfect armhole curve. Then I will take my horizontal measurement. On the chest line, I'm going to add 2 inches for joining allowance. On the bust line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divide by 4 plus 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it. On the waistline, I'm going to take my waist measurement divide by 4. I'm going to replace this dart intake here plus 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it and I will mark the same thing on the joining allowance line like so. Then I will connect my markings to serve as a guide for cutting. Then on this my waist point, I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch. This is to remove any form of bulginess on the waist area. I will mark it and I'm going to connect it to the bust line like so. Then I'm going to take my zipper allowance, okay, and I will start taking the zipper allowance from this 1/2 inch I went in with on the waist area. I will mark and I'm going to carry on like so. Then I will connect my markings to serve as a guide for cutting. Then for the depth of the neckline, I will go up from the bust line by 2 inches. This purely depends on you. It depends on how deep you want it, okay? Then I will mark it and I'm going to connect like so to give it a sweeter curve effect. So guys, that's all right. We'll now go ahead and cut. So guys, that's all right. It is that simple. And this is all I have for you for today. If you find this tutorial helpful, please subscribe, comment, like and share. See you in my next video. Bye.